Will Iran outfit its aircraft carrier Replica with engines to become a float forward staging base? Iran has a replica of aircraft carrier. The vessel sat damaged for years, but it appears to be back in action, meaning it's time for the country's armed forces to start trying to sink it again. Satellite images provided to Insider by Planet Labs and first reported by Defense One show that Iran appears to have completed or be close to completing repairs on its mock flat top, a painted barge resembling a U.S. Navy Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, after damaging it during target practice in 2015. Iran first started constructing a mock-up of a U.S. aircraft carrier in 2014, CNN reported at the time, citing satellite photos of the work being done at the port of Bandar Abbas. The purpose of the carrier construction project was not immediately clear. Following the CNN report, Rear Admiral Ali Fadavi, who was then commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Naval Forces, revealed the point of the replica carrier. "We have been making and sinking replicas of U.S. destroyers, frigates, and warships for long years," he told Iranian media. "We practice the same drills on replica aircraft carriers because sinking and destroying U.S. warships is, and will be on our agenda." In February the following year, Iran announced that it had destroyed a mock aircraft carrier during the Payambari-Azam 9, the Great Prophet 9, war games in the Persian Gulf, where U.S. carriers have routinely sailed for years in shows of force. Iranian media said that the ship was destroyed by rockets fired from tens of IRGC speedboats. The fake flat top was also struck by IRGC cruise and ballistic missiles, the report said. The mock carrier was not actually destroyed, but it was damaged. It remained in such a state for years until Iran began actively working to repair it last fall amid heightened tensions with the U.S., which had deployed the USS Abraham Lincoln and thousands of additional troops to the U.S. Central Command area of responsibility to confront Iran. In October, 1 month before construction began, Defense One reported BRIG General Amirali Hajizadeh, the head of Iran's IRGC Aerospace Force, threatened U.S. bases and carriers. "Everybody should know that all American bases and their aircraft carriers in a distance of up to 2,000 kilometers around Iran are within the range of our missiles," he said. Hajizadeh's forces were recently involved in a missile strike on U.S. and coalition forces in Iraq in the wake of a U.S. drone strike that killed Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani. Brian Clark, a defense expert and former U.S. Navy officer, told Defense One that the mock-up could be used for major exercises in the spring, adding that Iran could use the fake flat top for cruise missile strikes, small boat attacks, and drone strikes. A float forward staging base, AFSB, concept. On December 15, 2011, Military Sea Lift Command, MSC, requested information solicitation number, MM12-04 about the cost and availability of providing one U.S. or foreign flagged vessel to support maritime forces. The vessel will serve as an afloat forward staging base, providing maritime mobility, support, and refueling of small boats and rotary wing aircraft. The closing date was Thursday, January 12, 2012. It is anticipated that the vessel will be USCG certificate. The owner shall coordinate with USCG to determine under which subchapter the vessel will be classed. The crane 1 clear area and the helicopter open deck space really 150 feet wide. A helipad will not satisfy the requirements for the flight deck, which must be NavAir certified. The additional open deck space of 150 feet x 150 feet for staging equipment is to be contiguous to the flight deck. The aviation maintenance area must be contiguous to the flight deck area or accessible from it. For example, an industrial elevator might work. Hosting the large number of naval special operations forces brought into Afghanistan during the height of the conflict, at one point the most numerous troops on the ground of any service, the Navy improvised an afloat forward staging base, AFSB, using the aircraft carrier USS Kitty Hawk, CV-63. While the presence of the aircraft carrier offered good facilities for the management of special operations, helicopter aviation and command and control, the cost of the mission was that Kitty Hawk remained outside the normal battle group rotation cycle, causing the other carriers in service to extend deployments. Without operational afloat forward staging base, AFSB, capability, Army air assault capabilities will be ineffective if their forward staging bases ashore are more than 150 miles from their objective areas. MSC, through the CNOC Power 21 and Sea Basing Initiative, is developing the concept of the afloat forward staging base to rapidly and efficiently meet the U.S. Marine Corps' future requirements and to support joint forces' ability to launch combat power from the sea. MSC is exploring a commercial approach to the AFSB, taking advantage of experience with the maritime community and industry's research and development capabilities. Each ship would provide a 1,000 flat helicopter launch platform with 2 aircraft elevators and 1 container elevator. The AFSB would hold 30 helicopters and 1,000 soldiers, with a 6-story modularized office space, TOC, along with a dry cargo area and an area for ammunition magazines. The forced entry capability might consist of 12 A-60 Black Hawk, 6 CH-47 Chinook, 6 A-64 Apache Longbow, and 6 O-58D Kiowa Warriors. In support it would have aviation maintenance and FARP capability. Because Special Operations Forces may not require the use of the AFSB vessel as often as carrier battle groups rotate through their deployment cycle, the Navy is interested in using the AFSB ship in other mission areas, most likely as a platform for experimentation with unmanned systems like unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and as an element of new naval deployment concepts. Military Sea Lift Command heads up the commercial lease and LMSR efforts, which seem most promising. In January 2002 the Army released a request for proposal through Military Sea Lift Command. As of 2003 the Navy was examining several options for afloat forward staging base AFSB operations, ranging from pulling an aircraft carrier out of rotation, or to pursue one of several new options. One option is to use a Military Sea Lift Command operated Army large, medium speed roll-on/roll-off, LMSR, logistics ship in the AFSB role. An existing LMSR could be converted, and there is an ongoing production line. A second option would be to delaying the decommissioning of USS Constellation, CV-64, reducing its crew size and reducing its engineering load, taking her engineering plant down from 4 shafts to 2 shafts. A third option is to invest in a commercial platform, most likely leasing an existing commercial ship and paying the firm to modify the hull for the AFSB mission set. Afloat forward staging base, AFSB, container ship modification. The first concept discussed in 2003 was the lease and modification of a foreign commercial container ship. This COA is preferred by MSC, PM3 as of mid-2003. On the pro side, this COA could be realized within 8 months by the commercial sector and leased for up to 5 years. Conversely, after 5 years, MSC must either pay to retrofit the vessel to original configuration, or purchase the vessel. The major obstacle is the fact that these are foreign-flagged vessels and there exists legislation that prohibits their purchase in the interest of protecting American shipbuilding industrial base. If MSC intend to pursue this program more than 5 years, new construction or conversion of a U.S. ship is the only option available. The flight deck capabilities are divided by the pilot house superstructure located approximately 2/3 distance to the rear. The forward flight deck is 660 feet long x 122 feet wide with spots for 10 plus helos. The aft flight deck is 400 feet long x 122 feet wide with spots for 5 plus helos. Both flight decks are serviced by a separate elevator to the hangar deck. The hangar deck capabilities include parking space for 30 helos. Other interior areas of the ship accommodate bleeding space for 1,000 soldiers, a dry cargo area for 180 TEUs, an ammunition magazine in the FOC cell, and a modularized 6-story office for C2. Maersk Line Limited, the large maritime services company that operates a 5-ship squadron of MPF ships for MSC, proposed an afloat forward staging base that would consist of a modification of the S-class container ship. This 1,140 feet long vessel with a 140-foot beam could provide selective offload of cargo, berthing and support for 6,000 troops. The flight deck on top could launch and recover helicopters and, potentially, short takeoff and landing, fixed-wing aircraft. It could support simultaneous operations by a dozen V-22 tilt-rotor aircraft. The ship would use modular berthing, feeding, medical and administrative spaces and would incorporate a selective cargo discharge system, automating supply selection and distribution. Devised in cooperation with naval architects Gibbs and Cox and Narshipco, a ship conversion company, the ship could be fitted with a side ramp for roll-off operations. As of mid-2004, Maersk said the ship would be built at modest cost and in the water within 18 months of an order. AFSB LMSR conversion. The second option discussed in 2003 was the conversion of an MSC-owned/operated LMSR from the Surge Sea Lift fleet, or new build AFSB modified LMSR. This COA was the only option available to support a long-term requirement. An LMSR conversion affords immediate accessibility of the vessel currently located in the Ready Reserve Fleet, RRF. LMSR conversion would take about 30 months. Conversely, removal of an LMSR from the Surge fleet will subtract from the 14 million square feet of strategic sea lift requirement established by MRS, 1992, confirmed by MRS Buru, 1995, and reaffirmed by MRS 05, 2001, which may necessitate the construction of a new LMSR. Compared with the LMSR conversion, a new build, specifically designed, AFSB LMSR could be provided in about 48 months. Current Surge fleet lift would then remain as is. In 2004, MSC's Contracts and Business Management Directorate awarded a contract to design, build, and install a selective container discharge system as part of potential sea basing and afloat forward staging base initiatives. USNS GYSGTFW Stockholm, TAK 3017, a maritime prepositioning ship, was converted to an afloat forward staging base, AFSB, in 2004. Between March and July 2004, MSC modified the USNS Stockholm with additional capabilities to support the global war on terrorism. Modifications, at the request of Commander, U.S. Pacific Fleet, included a 54-foot flight deck, capable of handling 2 MH-60 helicopters, a commercial-type aviation fuel system, a medical module, communications upgrades and watercraft. The mission required MH-60S Class II operations, with full servicing and maintenance and parking in an enclosed helo storage area. In May 2004, Naval Air Engineering Station Lakehurst participated in a ship check of the Stockholm. The conversion cost just $3 million. Lighter aboard ship, LASH, conversion. Waterman Line responded to the Army 2002 RFP and proposed a lighter aboard ship conversion LASH to meet Army needs. Key components of the conversion are flight deck, helo hangars/storage, elevators, maintenance facilities, aircraft fueling and arming, berthing for 1,000, and support systems for command and control, C2. By converting an existing commercial vessel, they will be able to have a militarily useful sea base platform.
در نهمین رزمایش پیامبر اعظم برای بچه‌های سپاه برنامه خاصی برای این ناو دارند. این ماکتی است که تقریباً هم اندازه شناور واقعی آن است. سپاهیان اسلام برای آن برنامه‌ها دارند.